Hello, sports fans, and welcome to our new program, Tuesdays on the Edge, our version of Overreaction Monday, but better. I'm joined, as always, by my co host, the fantastic Big Boy, and the always interesting Coop. How are we doing, boys?
Good. Got
Pretty
the Prime
good.
glasses that I forgot about. I ordered about, I don't know, 3 months ago when Colorado was rolling, and they showed up in the mail today. So I'm ready to
Big
go.
boy rocks him better than freaking Dion does,
I
man.
think so. I think they're working out. I got the primes going. So I'm gonna wear them for today, just to let y'all know.
There you go.
All right, I like it. I like it. All right, but real quick before we get going, if y'all have not seen it, you're tuning into this episode. One, appreciate y'all tuning in to last week's episode. That did numbers. It was a packed weekend. We're going to recap that here in a second, talk playoffs, who's on the edge, who's not on the edge. We're going to get into it. But the website is now live. If you have not tuned into the website, tune into the website. It has everything you need on it from the Sports Roundtable Trio Edition when it comes to who's going to be our weekly guest this week. So if you want to see who the guest is, tune in there. But that is live, as well as this is going to be the first episode on Spotify. So check out, if you're listening on Spotify, we appreciate you tuning in and listening as well. But
If they don't want to see our pretty faces, they can go listen to the audio. You know what I'm
I
saying?
don't blame you. I don't blame you. Just listen to the audio.
But however you listen, we appreciate it. Keep tuning in. Real quick, the Texas Longhorns are nowhere near that edge, boys, after that last weekend, as we like to call it. Instead, it's still the small bit of Texas haters out there like the old Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if y'all saw that today, who probably thinks this Cal team should be in. Oh, wait, that was 2004, and Texas got put in over him in 2004 as well. So maybe he's just a little bit heated about that, or the fact that that year they went on to the Holiday Bowl and lost to the own Texas Tech Raiders. So I don't know which one he's heated about, but man, it was a big weekend for the playoffs. A lot of controversy. We knew it was going to happen, but what are your thoughts, boys, on just how that went down?
Well, I mean, right when I saw, we knew Michigan, Washington were locks on 1 and 2. When they put Texas at 3, we all should have known, at least I did, that it was going to be Alabama at 4. We talked about it. There's no way they leave out SEC, and it's business, So we'll get into the FSU thing in a second. But, I'm happy the Horns are playing Washington. In my opinion, I think Washington is more of a threat than Michigan against the Longhorns. But, we're in, so that's all we can ask for, right? And hey, and we're Big 12 champions, baby. So that's it.
That's what I wanted to say, man. They looked so good in the Big 12 championship.
Yeah.
I am worried about the deep ball, but man, that offense, Sark was in his bag. He was making some play calls that we hadn't seen all season, and just Quinn and him, like I said a couple weeks ago, you can check the tape. I just think finally they're kind of clicking. And I think, Quinn in big games, dude, he shows up, and he was on one, and they looked like if they can maintain that for 2 more games, can't nobody touch them. I don't care. Washington does have firepower, don't get it wrong. But man, the way that they were clicking, it was magical. That's what we've been waiting on for 3 years. And we got it. I mean, Sark was calling a game that just whatever he wanted to do, it was nice, man. It was better than the Texas Tech victory.
Well, now you think about it, he has a month to draw up some more. You know what I'm saying? What is he going to do in a month? Right, big boy? I mean.
Oh, yeah. And I agree with that, man. I just really think that we're going to get healthier. I think Quinn is finally getting healthy, like Eric said last week. And another 4 weeks of rehab and whatever they're doing with him. Let's pump him with HGH. I don't give a shit. Let's go,
No doubt. I mean, that was surprising because I kind of agreed with Coop that I was figuring that the Michigan matchup would kind of be better for us. But I talked to Eric right after the playoff rankings came out, and he loves the matchup against Washington way more compared to Michigan. So hopefully we'll be able to get him back on before that game comes around in a month to kind of get his thoughts on that, let him speak on it himself. But hey, man, you're in. That's all you can ask for. It's almost, I mean, you're almost playing in your home.
Chance.
Yep, you're almost playing in your home state. You're playing a team that's across the country to come play you. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more Texas fans than there are Washington fans. So
a rematch from last year as well.
Yep, rematch, Sharks old school. I mean, obviously, getting back to just the Final Four as a whole, yes, Florida State, like brutal break, right? Any like Florida State fans, and they can all be disappointed. I mean, right? But and no matter what, one of these three schools, when it came to Texas, Alabama, and Florida State, was going to be disappointed, and it just so happened to be the team that was without their starting quarterback. And now I think Florida State and the ACC and the state of Florida are taking a little too far with all this suing and asking all these extra questions now to the committee. Like in their guidelines, it does say player availability is a big piece of it. And that's part of it, man. I mean, it's the same thing. People want to say like, oh, this is why Florida State didn't make it, so he should be in the Heisman ceremony, right? Well, maybe, but they do the same thing for player trophies, right? Why is Jonathan Brooks not a finalist for the top three? Because he got hurt for the Dokic Award, so they're not going to give him a chance for the final three. Jordan Travis, hurt. They're not going to make him go to the Heisman ceremony hurt unless he like would have got hurt in the championship game. He got hurt too early in the season. They do the same thing with player awards. So that's where my thing comes. Like, yes, that's why they did not make it, but people are trying to say that that's not why. They do the same thing for player awards. And no matter what, Heisman, whatever player awards there are, they do the same thing. So I think that to the extent is taken a little far. And obviously Texas fans knew there's no way they're going to put in Alabama without putting in Texas. They've been head to head all year. They've ranked that win, which they should. They should value that win. I don't care if it's week 2, right? You look back, we mentioned it. Florida State's best win was against LSU week 1. So, and then they play the bootiest of a team in Louisville. I don't know how they're ranked that high. Their schedule was bad. Their best win is a mediocre Notre Dame. They didn't even have to play the Clemsons of the world or North Carolina. So don't even get me started on that. But at the end of the day, it's the right 4 teams. Sure, is maybe Georgia like one of the top 4 teams talent-wise? Of course. But you lost. So you lost to a team that's going to get in, and that's just how it works. This year's different than the past every single year that the playoffs happen.
Georgia gets in there.
Right? And probably Florida State. But, I mean, look at TCU of the world last year. Like, they get in with losing the Big 12. So, Big Boy can't take his
Can't do it,
glasses.
boys. I'm not that cool. I can't keep glasses on in the house, man. That was messing with my head.
They look cool though. That's all right.
Yeah, they look cool for a while. So we got the gist of it. I was gonna try to keep them on all podcasts, but my eyes were can't do it. Can't do it, boys.
Going to the on the edge. That's kind of where my on the edge is. It's not really necessarily a coach or a team or a coach or a player. It's Florida State's program is on the edge of jumping over the edge in that sense. You can say all you want. I agree. I can see both sides. It's a business. I think those 4 teams should be in there. But at the end of the day, it's an undefeated Power 5 conference champion that's not getting into the college football playoff. But listen, they get to play Georgia. You know what I'm saying? Like if Georgia goes in there and freaking waxes them, which most people think is going to happen, then, it gets proven. But, guys, if Florida State somehow pulls up the major upset against the Georgia Bulldogs, woo, it's going to be a freaking crazy, crazy world in the college football world. Well, think about it.
But how many people for both teams really are going to sit out? I don't think Brock is going to play. I mean, I don't know how many, guys.
That's a big thing.
Yeah. Do I think it's going to happen? No. I think Georgia's defense, I mean, look what Louisville's defense did to them.
Exactly.
I think it's going to – and they will have their second-string quarterback instead of their third. And I think that is one thing. Everyone's like, oh, it's the third-string quarterback. Well, the second string would be back by, playoff time.
Right.
But I feel bad for Florida State. We can all see why they did it. but they still deserve to be in there. And I think that is it sucks for the kids. It sucks for the kids. It sucks for the coach. They went undefeated. It sucks.
Could you imagine being in that room?
Man,
like, did you see that?
Yeah.
Like, how do you deal with that? Not only as a player, but as the coach, to get everyone back together, and you still got to go.
Oh, they're gonna have something to play for. Trust me, they're gonna play with their hair on fire. But you say the college world would go crazy, will they? They'll say, okay, that sucks. We got the playoff game tomorrow. And that's what everyone will go to. Like, we're not going to be worried about it. They're going to talk about the great game between, Texas and Washington or whatever happens. So I do feel bad for them. I was always a Florida State fan growing up. Charlie Ward and Derek Brooks and Warwick Dunn. Like, I'm that old, guys. So, but, I loved Bobby Bowden. I thought he was the coolest coach around. And if I was good, I probably would have gone there, but I wasn't. So, but it was, I feel bad for Florida State, and Mike Norvell is a great coach, man. And I really like him. He's kind of like Sark to me. He got this whole program, his program, turned around from, the blue blood that they were to, after a couple bad coaches to what they are now.
Right.
No doubt. I mean, yes, it's terrible, but look at it, man, those matchups. I mean, there's nothing better than these Final Four matchups. I mean, they got the 4 hottest teams right now, and that's a fact. So 4 hottest
we're
teams.
We're the hottest.
Yeah, probably so. No doubt.
Man.
I mean,
us or Alabama.
I mean, I would love to. I mean, there'd be nothing more happy in the world for, I'm sure, everybody, but not only Texas fans, for Alabama and Texas to meet up again in NRG. That may be the most watched college football game in history if that happens. Not only just because of how much hype between the two programs, but Texas beat them earlier this year. Now everyone said like it's fluke, whatever. So Texas still have their game ready to go. But I mean, that semifinal matchup at the Rose Bowl, Michigan, Alabama, 2 of the most prominent programs over the last 50 years. I mean, there's nothing better.
That's going to be a slobber knocker. That is going to be so physical. And let's not forget, guys, Michigan has about, how many say they're going to have, draft picks? 12, 13, whatever the number, he said before. I mean, they got some – I love their running back, man. I think that kid is so tough. He is a dog. But, we're going to see. It's going to be fun. We're in the tournament, so that's all that,
Going back to the Michigan room, when they saw that Alabama got in instead of Florida State, you could tell in the room it was little like, oh dang, like they kind of wanted, obviously wanted to play Florida State rather than Alabama, and then it was like silent, like and then let's clap. But
I get it too. I'd rather play Florida State.
You could tell they wanted
that
to play Florida State.
They want that cakewalk, yeah. All those cheaters up there. Of course they wanted the cakewalk. That's not shocking. But thinking back to it, obviously the SEC title game, Georgia, Bama, man, I don't know what, but like we were texting about during the game, and just watching those 2 offenses, like obviously we already saw Bama's defense. Like, I don't think it's improved that much from when Texas played them. Maybe their offense, yes, you can say it's improved, but everyone's improved since week 2. Like, Washington's improved, Michigan's gotten better, right? But those offenses in that game, especially Georgia, I was really disappointed with. I don't know what was missing that they couldn't get going on, but something that's going to get really overlooked that I saw is Georgia did not have 1 sack, guys. 1 sack. And Bama's been one of the worst O-lines the whole year, so no matter who they played, right? Give up sacks left and right. But then when they play Georgia, who's supposed to have the top dogs of the dogs on that D line, not 1 sack. Why?
I can tell you why. They have the D line, but they also, on every single play, on every single snap, they had a quarterback spy. At least one of them, if not 2. Every single play that they were playing against Milroe, they had one linebacker 100% of the time, at least one linebacker, a quarterback spy. So you also got to
with him too. I mean, I think Georgia, I think Bowers, I think he's still pretty banged up in that. I can't remember his name, the little wide receiver.
Mhm.
I mean, he could barely walk out there. And, it gets to a point like, is he hurting the team worse being out there, or let's get
Yeah, I mean,
somebody else in here? They got to have it's Georgia,
yeah, I mean, it was kind of like Sanders and whenever UT played OU, right? Kind of came
Yeah.
back a little early, kind of that same kind of circumstance. But you know who they wish they had on the Bulldogs, and that's
AD.
Donnie Mitchell still. I mean, that man has a chance to win 3 in a row. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
3-peat.
impressive. 3-peat,
Yeah.
man. I mean, if he can do that, and not only with the same team, which there's no way there's been a player that's won 3 national championships, right?
Not
I
like
don't think
him.
so.
Yeah.
I mean, come
That's
on.
crazy.
Let's get
He's
him
our
there, man.
maybe he's our good luck charm. Let's go. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it's like who was it? There was some other team that they're comparing it to. I can't remember who they were on Texas, but they're comparing like they went off last year, they transferred in, now bang, their team sucks. Now they're going
well,
to the playoffs.
Georgia
But
doesn't suck. They
no,
lost
Georgia
one
doesn't
game.
suck, but
Okay.
it was a
Yeah,
different
let's
team. I couldn't think about who it was.
They
but
really, if you want to get down to who 4 of the best teams in the nation are, Georgia's probably still up there. But
I'm sure they
you
probably
can't-
be
yeah.
favored against any of those teams, just like these 4 teams would be favored against the Florida States of the world. So at that point, you can't look at it like that, right? You just go with what they say, and this is what's going to bring the viewership and bring the most intense games. So that's what they're doing, and it's going to be a long month, but hopefully it goes by fast because
It will.
we need it to be here. We do.
We need a little time though. We need everybody to get healthy. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I think, but that's on both sides. Everybody's banged up at this point in the season, and but I do think Quinn getting to 100%. We got guys on defense that have been banged up, and I guess we're not gonna have Cattle on. Coop, you aren't too worried about that, but I do wish that he was playing, but that's not gonna happen.
I mean, I don't think he's gonna end up playing, but I saw a thing today that Sark's letting dudes who ever enter the portal because the portal closes January 2nd.
Yeah.
So the word is, I don't know if it's true, but dudes that enter the portal, he's giving them the option to continue to practice and play in the game. Now, obviously, are most dudes that enter the portal now really that big of a contributor recently? Probably not. But someone like Catalan, especially with Derek Williams out first half, like that's a dude that could squeeze in there and get some snaps, even though he hasn't the last couple of weeks.
Now, I have a question.
Do you want someone half in though? I mean,
no,
really,
not at all.
And they were saying because you can get more film in practice. I mean, these coaches can get the practice films and stuff like that if they need for recruiting and stuff like that, and they can mash something up together for them. But I mean, do you want a guy that's half in? Like from the reports, he cleaned out his locker and he's probably not too happy that he's not playing. I mean,
I feel like that's one of the dudes that won't, but like I could see some of these other redshirt freshmen, redshirt sophomores that haven't seen much PT this year, right? You can understand them wanting to go transfer, group of 5 school, Texas State of the world, UTSA, go play, right? No, power to them. But I could see like if that's a dude Sark's really liked and he's gone about it the right way, then I could see Sark being okay. Like, yeah, get your reps in the practice, come travel with us. I mean, come have a shot at getting a national championship. Obviously, you're probably not going to play in these games. You haven't played all year, but come on. Yeah, exactly. Like, come on.
Yeah. Well, and the way that I look at it is not like, it's either like, if you don't want to be there, or if you're not, like, I don't know if it was like a coaching thing or like, I don't know what the whole story is behind it, but like, if you want to be there, like it's the University of Texas, we got the next man right here up. You know what I'm saying? Like, so to me, like, I don't really care.
I don't know if it's really the fact of like dudes don't want to be there and like miss out on the shot of a national title. It's more of the fact that the NCAA needs to change is the portal closes January 2nd, and there's already so many dudes in it that you can only wait so long. Like Malik Murphy, which we'll get to it in a little bit whenever we have our transfer portal talk. I mean, the clock's really ticking for him to go to one of these big schools. Now, if he wants to go to one of these lower level Power 5 schools or Group of 5 schools, then go be it. Like the time's there, but we'll look at it in a little bit. I got top 10 quarterbacks in the portal right now, and he's not even sniff any of those 10. So that's kind of a thing where, yeah, you want to be there for the natty and be there for the squad, but like at the end of the day, if you wait too long, I mean, you're almost throwing your rock under a bus, because if you are going to transfer, you want to do it so you can go be with that school for spring practice, right? Because that's where you're going to win a job. Now, I understand entering the portal after spring practice if you think you can go win a job at Texas and you want to stay there and try to win a job and then enter the portal, but then you're still putting yourself at edge. Like, I'm going to go transfer somewhere midsummer. Like, I missed all of spring. Like, you're just going, it's like an early enrollee compared to a mid-year enrollee, right?
But I also respect
few and
that.
far
Though.
between.
He wants to go and finish the season out without entering,
Yeah, if he does, man, I mean, I don't know. I would not blame him one bit for leaving, but I would love for him to stay and compete, with what happens with Quinn, we don't know what happens, with Manning. I'm sorry, man. I love Malik. Y'all know that. I love him. I think he's going to be a great quarterback for somebody. I just think Manning is like that first round draft pick, dude. You got to play him at some point. And
yep.
I don't think you'll be able to keep him off the field. Even if Malik is better come springtime, and let's say Quinn does go, where's that, where's the bottom and where's the top? Like, Manning is just going to, but I'm not at practice, so I don't know,
Sure.
No doubt. Well, before we get too much into the portal, because we're going to talk about that when we wrap up the show. But friendly reminder, if you're coming in halfway during, the website now live, it has some merch peaks on there, little clippets of the merch. Hopefully that will be out around December 20th. Around then, it's going to go live, but go get
right
you some
time for Christmas.
Yep. Go get you some
that
sneak
late
peeks
Christmas
there.
present.
Exactly. And then Spotify listeners, if you're a big Spotify guy, we're live on there. Don't forget about that. But before we get really into the transfer portal, let's hop over to the NFL. We had some big games this weekend, but I feel like just the NFL as a whole, with so much college football taking over on Sunday, it was really quiet in the Twitter world, at least the X world of NFL. I feel like it was very far and few between, but no other than the Chiefs and the Eagles were two teams that not only struggled, but looked bad, and the Eagles' sake got destroyed. What are our thoughts on those two teams? And after those matchups, I mean, that was bad.
San Fran looks strong. I think the Eagles are still the Eagles, and we're going to find out this weekend. That's kind of my on the edge, are the Cowboys. The Cowboys in the next 4 games are going to either look really great, or it's going to be everyone's going to talk that same old Cowboys. So
see you later, Mike McCarthy.
Well, I kind of like that anyways. I don't care what they do. I'm not the biggest McCarthy fan, but if they can pull out 3 wins in these next 4, like, it's pretty good. Because they got some murderers row here.
Going back to the Eagles 49ers, I mean, the 49ers were talking smack, all week. And then they come in pregame. They come pregame and they're still talking smack. And then they continue to come in and beat your ass. Like, they're the real deal. In my opinion, they're the best all around, best team in the league, in my opinion.
I mean, when they're healthy, man.
Yeah, they came in, backed it up. So, hey, there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel bad for a team that's going to have to play him probably in the first round, because more than likely it's going to be hard for them to get that bye in the first round, unless some other teams keep losing, since they did drop those games whenever some of their dudes were out.
Hurt.
Yeah. But then flipping over to the other Kelsey brother, the Chiefs. I mean, that offense, we've talked about it. It's just different this year. It's been almost role flipped, right? Defense has been trying to win them these games. And I mean, it's not a Kansas City offense scoring 19 points. Like, that's not something we're used to in the Patrick Mahomes Chiefs era. 19 points in a game.
He doesn't have anyone to throw it to. Kelsey's getting locked up, by double teamed, and then who else?
Yeah. I mean, I saw a thing today. They have 3 of the highest rated percentage of catchers in the league, but then they also have the 3 lowest. So it's really there's no in between. They're either catching the ball or they're dropping it bad depending on who he throws to. But those are two teams that, with how successful they've been, I mean, their fan bases, they can really get on that edge very quickly if things don't turn around too fast. Especially, feel like the Chiefs more. The Eagles are going to keep finding ways to win unless someone can just
They're
keep their
tough.
foot. Yeah, I mean, unless someone like the 49ers can really keep their foot on the gas and just knock them out 5 times in a row.
My Cowboys.
What
What do you think? You think this weekend is going to be bad? You think the Eagles are going to smoke them or what?
Man, it's hard to say just because like the 49ers did the exact same thing pretty much to the Cowboys. So it's really hard to say, like, you can't go off that. So I think obviously being in Dallas is going to be massive. And with how hot Dallas has been, I think Dallas will have a pretty good shot. But I feel like last week hurt the defense a lot. Like they had been rolling hot too, and they go out and almost lose the game pretty much.
They can make adjustments.
Yeah, but again, having to go up against the Eagles offense who just find ways to do it, find ways to win, find ways to score. It's going to be tough. I mean, I'm ready to watch it. We're going to make sure y'all tune in to Friday's episode of the Sports Roundtable Trio Edition. We're going to have the very own Mike Harge on. We're going to get him talk some Dallas Cowboys, of course, Texas Longhorns, but we're going to get his thoughts on that matchup as well. But what are your thoughts, big boy, on your Cowboys?
We're winning the rest of our games, going to the Super Bowl, being the first round bye. I mean, what are we talking about? No, I don't know. We're gonna find out. Like this is it. Like, okay, you've beat the mediocre teams, and you know when we played, you lost to the Eagles and you lost to San Francisco. So if this is real, we're gonna find out because we got the Bills, we got Miami, and we got the Lions. So in the Eagles. So we're gonna find out. You know, and see if Dak is that, and I guarantee you, if they win 3 out of the 4, Dak's winning the MVP.
Oh no! I mean, if he's playing the way he's played this past month, he's winning the MVP for sure.
Yeah, and we're gonna see. We will see. It's awesome. We get to really see like this is the prove it time. And like you said, if they don't prove it and they blow all these games, McCarthy's gone. And he should be. If he doesn't, he's a great, oh my God, he's great. And the Cowboys are great again. So
Big Boy won't mind it either way because they either win or McCarthy's out.
Yeah,
so.
I'm still not sold on him. I think he sold Jerry a bill of goods. Jerry got drunk and said, fuck it, let's do it. But we'll see. I'm excited, man. I think the defense, they need to make some adjustments. And Bland, I know he kind of got beat up last week, but he's still good. So
no doubt
he's going to make a comeback.
Real quick, let's jump to the Jags. All right. Hey, should Jacksonville be eliminated from the playoffs since freaking Trevor Lawrence is out now?
Have they said what it is? Because
it's
a high ankle sprain.
High ankle sprain. That's not good.
Yeah,
because those high ankles take a while.
So, are they going to be eliminated since their quarterback's out? So
but the thing about the NFL, there's a real elimination process. It's not like college where we pick them.
Yeah, like let's go ask the committee if exactly. Jacksonville's going to get in.
No, I mean it's going to fit. Obviously, if they can make the playoffs, I don't know. Obviously, time frame they haven't said, but that may be a time frame where he could maybe be back for that playoffs. But I mean, they still got some big games, and it's going to be tough for them. I mean, ended up losing that game last night. Obviously, does not help with him playing.
They play the Texans again?
No, they split with the Texans 1-1.
Okay,
but I mean, they'll get the Colts who.
Colts are making a run.
Yeah, they're finding ways to win. Gardner Minshew, I mean, he's just known for that, man.
He's a dog.
He's literally just known for that. He's straight up known for that. And I mean, the Titans, they hung in there right there with them. They're either just hot or they're terrible. One of the two. It's really, I think, if they can get that run game going. But we'll see what happens. Yep, we'll see what happens with the NFL. But before we wrap up today's episode of Tuesday on the Edge, going back to the transfer portal, obviously us, only 2 guys in it from the Texas side of things, but we love following the recruiting, and the new transfer portal is like an extra era of recruiting when it comes to this month window that they now have. And it's broken every number there is. The the portal is absolutely just loaded with quarterbacks and wide receivers and DBs, right? I counted today, 96 quarterbacks are in the portal as of today. Okay.
96.
96. Now that ranges from any Division 1. Obviously, most of them are decent, right? Now, top 10 right here. According to 24/7 Sports, the number one quarterback in the portal is, which I've never even heard of this dude, is Aiden Childs, who's at Oregon State. He was, I guess, a top recruit last year that went in, has been the backup to DJ. Oregon State been in the portal. They're saying he's probably going to Michigan State, follow his coach. Good for Michigan State. Then you got Dante Moore, right? 5-star from UCLA, number 2. Talking probably going back to Michigan. JJ McCarthy's gone after this year, more than likely, or maybe Oregon. You're going to see a theme here with some schools that are in for multiple quarterbacks that they want to go a transfer route instead of the high school dudes they have or bringing in.
The kid from UCLA is from Detroit, right?
Correct.
He's from Detroit.
Yep. So Michigan would be big there. Then you got Cameron Ward, Washington State, almost one of the first guys to go in. He's kind of had everyone, honestly. USC, Ohio State, Florida State, and Miami. So we'll see. It's kind of what domino falls first. You've only had really one quarterback commit, and that's Max Johnson from A&M going to North Carolina, which doesn't really affect any of these dudes. So we'll see where that gets rolling. Another kind of almost lock, you could say, that could happen very soon is Will Howard from Kansas State. He's a top-ranked dude, and Lincoln Riley already flew out to see him. They're thinking it's USC all the way there, so that'll be interesting. They have a 5-star freshman from this past year, and Malachi Nelson. So we'll see what happens with that. Then, of course, you got Riley Leonard, Duke. Everyone's saying Notre Dame. Notre Dame sticking the transfer portal, just like they did last year. Then you got Brock Vandergriff. I don't know if y'all know him. He's kind of buried in that Georgia quarterback room. He was a 5-star, one of the top quarterbacks in the nation. He was committed to OU with Lincoln Riley, actually, and then flipped. But they're saying he's staying SEC, whether it's Kentucky or maybe Mississippi State, which for old Jeff Levy, that could be a big first portal get for him when it comes to that.
That's why I thought Gabriel would go there.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're Dylan Gabriel, you got Oregon and USC on your likes. I mean, not only are you going to go get paid, but he gets to go back to the West Coast, closer to his home, right? Easier for his parents to get out there. Apparently, like, his parents only got to come to like 3 OU games this year, and one of them was Texas OU. So that's one. I think Oregon's going to be kind of key there. So you've got these same schools, Oregon, USC, Mississippi State, all these schools, Ohio State now, right? Next guy up, Kyle McCord from Ohio State, just a random portal entry. They're starting quarterback all year. I don't know what's going on. They've had a lot of dudes like who've not only.
There's been a lot of guys go from.
Yeah, and that main receiver, right?
Yeah, I mean, one of their main receivers, but like dudes who've actually played and given them good time are hitting that portal, and they have a lot going to the draft. So that's gonna be something for Ryan Day. See if he can rebuild that thing because they're losing a lot. So they've kind of talked about him. He's got a long list: Miami, NC State, Mississippi State's another one. Louisville needs a quarterback. I mean, after that showing, they're getting them a quarterback. That's for sure. And then you got Will Rogers, the Mississippi State guy, right? Stud. Just hasn't been on team, and they're saying Washington for him. They're saying Washington's going to reload. Michael Penix's gone. They're going to go over to him. And then last but not least is old DJ Uguali, Oregon State. I can't believe I just nailed that last name, by the way.
Pretty good.
That was pretty solid. That was pretty solid right there. Yeah. But they're saying a combo of an ACC schools in Florida State and Louisville again. So, I mean, those are the top 10, 11 dudes right there. And that's where it kind of comes in. We were talking about Malik Murphy. Like, I mean, those are all the top schools who are looking for quarterbacks. And, I mean, you have those 10 dudes that they're going to pick from first. Like, what are the chances you really go to one of these big schools and start? I mean, they're going to get one of these guys, whether it's the Oregons of the world, USC, Ohio State. Like, they're going to get their pick. It's really just going to be what dominoes fall first, and you may get left with your second choice. But it's interesting to play out, man. I mean, the transfer portal has been a killer. for some schools, right? Some people hate it, some people love it, but it makes things very interesting. And with the football season slowly slowing down, we're going to start talking a lot more on our Friday episode. The Sports Roundtable Trio Edition is going to be a lot more recruiting and transfer portal talk as we get moving on into December and into January. And there's going to be a lot to talk about, boys. There's going to be a lot.
Oh, yeah. Are they saying up there in Oklahoma that it's just Arnold's job and that's why Gabriel left?
Pretty much. It's kind of just the combo of, I don't think they think probably Jackson Arnold would leave if Gabriel did come back. That's kind of one of those things, because obviously Jackson Arnold could go start at Mississippi State with his OC, right? But also, if you're doing Gabriel, like, maybe, yeah, you could go get drafted late, last few rounds probably, but now he still got one more year. He can go to a West Coast team, and he would fit in that Oregon offense perfect, right? I mean, it's like a lefty Bo Nix almost. So he can go there and break every single college quarterback record there is. I know they're saying he could break, if he goes one more year, he could break Carson Palmer's yards record and all kinds of stuff. So, I mean, it's best for him. For OU's sake, I don't know. I mean, it's like Texas. I would be scared with a freshman quarterback going into the SEC with that schedule.
Yeah.
I'd be scared, because then it's like, if you do have a tough year, everything gets thrown onto you, and who knows what that does to a quarterback. And they don't have any veteran dudes behind them, so that'll be interesting. What they do up here is, do they bring in some veteran guy to kind of back him up and be there for him? But we'll see. We will see what happens in the world of football. But right now it's NFL this weekend, no college. But make sure y'all tune in to Friday's episode. We're still going to have a jam-packed one, plenty of guests, great interview. Of course, our weekly NFL picks. But that brings us to the end of the adventure on Tuesday on the Edge.
Primes. Put the prime on before we end it.
Put the primes on. But we hope you enjoyed the ride today. If you're listening on YouTube or Spotify now, we appreciate it. Remember to subscribe, like, share with all your friends, right? And do what, big
Ring
boy?
that bell. Ring that bell. Follow us on social medias.
Oh, yeah. Check out the website. Stay tuned for the merch drop. Until next time, stay curious, and we'll see you Friday on the Sports Roundtable Trio Edition at noon. Peace.